5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
This is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. We go until midnight tonight here on the East Coast of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, there's that face. That wizened face in her elderly years has a certain wisdom about it.
Oh, yeah, right. So it's such a wise old woman.
Yeah. When I was married to her, she was just another hippie. Anyway...
No, that's wrong. I was never a hippie. I was a beatnik.
Well, yeah, but I have a picture of you where you're dressing more like the problem is, I got to tell you, this is Ronnie Bennett, by the way, in case you didn't notice. That's my ex-wife, my second ex-wife. And she, I have pictures of you wearing what I consider hippie garb, but what I noticed is that throughout the years, you've had to dress to the times because you couldn't buy clothes of any other kind. It was like I hated platform shoes, but I actually had to wear a pair because that's all you could buy at one point. You know,
they do that. You know, the opposite problem is that every woman, ask any woman you run into, we can't get clothes. Our clothes don't have pockets like men's do. So we can't put our cell phone in our pocket. It has to be in our hand or in our handbag, so you never can find it. I'm going to go back to wearing a watch because I can never find it in my handbag, and I don't know what time it is wherever I am. And I think that's a giant problem, I guess, for women. But clothes manufacturers are the ones that make that decision. And you bring it up with any group of women, and all of them will say, yes, yes, pockets.
Yes, pockets. Well, you know, men have always had pockets, and it makes it pretty easy. But a lot of coats you buy today have little pockets in them for phones. I mean, they've kind of take a phone. I'm
not talking about a special coat.
Yeah.
I'm talking about normal everyday clothes,
Okay.
A sweater, a jacket, pair of pants. No pockets for women, or so tiny you can't put... If you tried to put your phone in, it would fall out.
Yeah.
It's really irritating.
Well, you have one advantage. You don't have a prostate. So I consider that an advantage for women.
And how is yours this week?
Well, I start my radiation on Monday.
Oh, I thought you'd done it. We were going to hear all about it today.
Oh, no. It's really funny. Starting Monday, I have radiation every other day for 5 days. Okay, so for a week and a half, I'm going to...
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And then Monday and Wednesday.
Sunday?
No, I think it's Monday and Wednesday. I think they actually let the radiation machine take a day off. I don't know. But anyway, and then they do the seeds. But in between, I have to go Tuesday to my dentist because she found a fractured filling in a back tooth that may be too close to a nerve, and we may have to do a root canal. So what will happen is on Monday, I do radiation. Tuesday, I do root canal. Wednesday, I do radiation.
Welcome to my life.
Yes, welcome to Ronnie's life.
My rehab after 3 months is coming to an end on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I have, in my old age and post-major surgery, I have about 7 to 8 hours a day that I'm functional, that I can think and I can write and I can go places and do things.
Yeah.
That's it. Most people have 15 or 16. I only have 7 or 8. So then what happened? Rehab comes along twice a week for the past 3 months.
Yeah.
And with the travel time and the workout time there and coming back, it takes 4 hours out of those 2 days.
Yeah.
So each one of them. So I'm losing another 8 hours a week out of my life. That all kinds of things don't get done because I still run out of energy by 2:30.
You still have you still have a blog to put out. You still have to maintain
How
that.
about just the dishes and the laundry and clean up the house and meet a friend for lunch and that sort of thing. Something I've hardly seen, and I finally saw a friend I haven't seen in all this time on Friday for lunch. What is today? Saturday? Yes, yesterday for lunch. And it had been the longest time. So I understand what you're up against, that you've got somewhere to be every single day.
Yeah. Well, can I say something which is very true? When you first said that the cancer had come back and all of that, I expected to see a woman who, over the weeks that we would be talking, would be deteriorating. Every time we talk, you look better than the time before.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I just look like an old lady, you know?
No, you look great. I mean, you're looking terrific. You're looking healthy.
Well, the thing is that, I think I've used this line with you, is that if I didn't know I had cancer, I wouldn't know I have cancer.
Right.
It's the COPD that is the bigger problem of day-to-day living.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, I've forgotten when exactly, I have a new test and see the oncologist, and I always start to get nervous when that's coming because who knows what the cancer's done, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And you go through, I'm sure everybody who's been in my position, it's like that is, I get a little pain here or somewhere, and oh my God, what's the cancer doing to me? There's no way to know, so you just have to move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's always a little shadow back there, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, you look terrific, and I don't know why you aren't starting to look worse. I think,
the day will come. What are you going to say to me when that day comes?
Well, I don't know. It may come for me earlier than it comes. I have a funny feeling you may be around long after me. I just have that feeling.
I know, that doesn't, feelings are, well,
you're going to say, why isn't Alex was supposed to call me today. Why isn't he calling? And then you're going to finally call my number and Marjorie will pick him and say, well, he had a heart attack last night. I mean, I had that happen.
And what kind of heart problems do you have?
I don't have any that's going to kill me.
Yeah, that's right.
I've had my heart checked. I have a stenosis, a mild stenosis, which he says if it keeps progressing at the rate it's been progressing, I'll be dead at 150.
What's stenosis mean?
That's a hardening of the aorta.
Oh, okay.
It's a thickening
does that word only apply to a heart, or does it apply to other things?
Stenosis, you can get, Marjorie, I think, has stenosis in her back.
So it's a medical term.
It's a hardening. It's a hardening of something.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case, it's a mild aortic stenosis. Okay. So, whatever. Anyway, so but I can use this in my court case. Sorry, Judge, I have to take a break. I have cancer. And then go do whatever I have to do. You can use those as excuses. That and pull the senior card. That's always a good one too. No, I can't remember. That's too long ago for me. You know me. I'm old. I don't remember. What? I did something wrong? I didn't know I was doing something wrong. Excuse me. I'm an old man.
You know what? We're terribly lucky to be as healthy as we are, given even the things that are wrong with us medically. We're very lucky at this. I mean, you're past 80 and I'm coming up on it in a little over a year. And, we're doing pretty well given all the things that could happen.
Yeah. Can I talk to you about something that happened to me today? I think
Yes.
you might find this interesting. I'm at Costco. I'm wheeling my cart around.
Where is Costco in Manhattan?
Costco is over on 117th Street and the East Side Highway.
Oh, so you have to go way across town.
Yeah, but it's not that big a deal. I'm there in 10 minutes, okay? By cab or Lyft or whatever I take. Anyway, I'm wheeling my cart around and I'm turning an aisle and I tap somebody else's cart. That always happens. Because especially in a crowded Saturday Costco, you're going to
do it during the week, and you would.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the story. So I tap the cart and I just kind of move on because I've got my earphones on and I'm listening to my music. And this guy starts yelling behind me. "You didn't say I'm sorry." And I turn around, it's this black guy. And I go up to him and I said, "What's your problem?" He said, "You didn't say you were sorry." I said, "I just tapped your cart, sir." He says, "You're a racist."
Oh, dear me. Okay.
And I'm going, "What? How does tapping your cart possibly make me a racist?" And he starts yelling at me, "Yes, well, you're also an old coot."
You got called an old coot?
Yeah, I said, or something like that, or an old fucker, or something like that. And I said, "But not only are you racist, but you're also an ageist." And I started yelling at him. I got in his face. And, I got to tell you something. I'm not being racist when I say this. I live in Harlem. I know this for a fact. A trait of black people, and this is not a racist trait, but a trait of black people is they don't like their space invaded. So if you tap their cart,
everybody doesn't like their space.
No, more so. It's like you cannot. I just tap the cart. If somebody just tapped my cart, I would go, "Oh, okay, somebody just tapped my cart." It wasn't like I slammed into him.
Did it occur to you he might have been having a bad day?
Does it occur to you he might be a racist and just hate white people? So I figure I'm going to start. I've decided I'm going to become a racist. Because if I'm going to get accused of it, I want to get my money's worth. Okay? Because, God knows, I suppose I'm a racist from the standpoint that I'm white and I didn't grow up black, so I don't know what it's like to be black and walk around in black skin, but I can empathize. And as you know, I never use that nasty word we're supposed to use because my father told me you don't use that word. That's the description of a black man who just left the room. So I never use that word.
Is that what your father said?
Yeah. That's the description of a black man who just left the room. Of course, I miss him too, and it's been like... So I never use that word.
Is that what your father said?
Yeah.
That's the description of a black man who just left the room.
Of course, I miss him too, and it's been like...
So I never use that word.
Because just using that race card on such a trivial matter trivializes racism, even by a black person doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was hardly a racist act that I tapped, by accident, his cart. And I didn't do it because he was black, But now that I think about it, I probably did it because he was black. Anyway, but what do you think? You ever have things like that happen? It just completely put off my whole day.
Well, one of the things that's happened to me in my old age, and I've kind of noticed, is I shrug more at things that I used to get angry at.
Yeah.
I just, oh God, I don't have maybe it's down to very basically, I don't have the energy to react. I'm old.
Well, if I did more than just tap the guy, I would have said I was sorry. If I rammed into him, I certainly would have said I'm sorry. But I didn't. It wasn't even that. It was like just a tap, And it could have been because he stopped short or something like that.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah, but no. All I'm saying is, what bothered me most of all was him trivializing being, black racism by accusing somebody of being racist because they tapped his cart. I'm sorry, that's not the definition of racism.
Well, yeah, I think you have.
Yeah, if a white person taps a black person's cart, he's definitely a racist. But fuck you.
Can we talk about this stuff on your face?
What? There's nothing on my face.
Around here.
This is my beard. I've always had this.
I don't remember ever seeing it.
You know what it is?
Longer?
It's the lighting. Because I have more lighting. You've seen me more in shadow before.
I understand. Many, many, many men. I would say at least half the men I ever lay eyes on these days have a mustache and then the same kind of, beard that comes around your mouth like this. I think it's really unattractive. And I want to know why men think it's attractive.
I have had this, Ronnie, for the last 30 years. I think since I was doing radio in San Francisco, I had this style beard.
Well, I just never noticed it, but it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
And when I was at WMCA, I had one, but I didn't do this part. So it went kind of like up like this, you know. You remember?
No.
Oh, well, I'll show you pictures. I'll send you a picture. You know, I've always had some kind of facial hair, and I think we tend to do it when we're going. Some bald people do it basically because
to compensate for what's not on the top of your head.
It just makes it draws attention, I guess, to the bottom of your face. You know, I on the other hand,
it doesn't. We all know you're bald.
Well, I don't. Anyway,
my hair here.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of hanging out. Everything's a mess. This is what happens when you are bald from, in my case, chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when that's all over and it starts growing back, you just let it do whatever it does. And I haven't had a haircut since I was bald. It's just, I'm letting it grow.
Yeah.
And it's a mess, and it's really hard to take care of. And I need to go have a haircut. And that seems a lot of work these days. I don't know why. It's not me cutting it. But I'm thinking about maybe I'll just have it shaved. I'll go back to being bald again. It's so easy.
Yeah.
You don't do anything.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not as easy as you think, because right now I'm getting to the point where I think I got to go get a haircut, because I like to keep this very short, because I learned long ago, a comedian I knew who's now deceased, he had the same thing where he was going bald, and I used to wear my hair, a lot of hair here and a lot of hair down the back, and he said, cut it all off. It's called preemptive baldness. You know, it's more attractive to have a lot of short hair when you're bald than to have a lot of long hair, which then shows how bald you are, you know. And I started cutting my hair very short, but, you know, I go a couple of weeks and then I forget about it, you know.
You know, during the congressional hearings this week.
Yeah. By the way, she's saying this week because we're doing this on a Saturday. So
I mean this previous week.
Well, whenever, during the hearings, yeah.
At the rare times they took a close-up shot of Justice Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you see pictures, and they always do that formal picture of everybody who's on the Supreme Court. They take one every year. And a few other pictures they take of them. Mostly we don't see lots of pictures like you do of movie stars or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you see them, and he looks like he's got a nice head of hair. Well, he was sitting up here on the bench.
Yes.
So he's looking like this down at everybody. And he's got this giant bald spot on top. And I thought that was the oddest thing, because the rest of his head is really luxuriant hair. He's got a lot of hair elsewhere except that one little hole up
well,
here.
that's some people bald that way. They bald in what's called a bald pate. Okay, and then the front, there's a lot of hair.
Male baldness,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, male pattern baldness is more what I have, where it starts here and moves back.
Who would know anymore?
Huh?
Who would know anymore?
What I mean? I remember how it started. It started here.
You remember, but nobody else does.
First you recede, okay, and then it goes back. Now some people, when they bald, do the bald pate. It's just the pate gets bald,
right,
but the front stays pretty full. I think I saw Chuck Schumer one day when he did this, and he has the bald pate too.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And so do I.
Really?
It's not completely bald, but you can see through what little hair is there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand it though. I have two attorneys, and both of them are Jewish, and both of them have a luxurious head of hair.
So did your dad.
My dad was receding.
A little ways,
he was
but
receding.
It was lots of beautiful hair.
But I just, I think when you're Jewish, it's by law you should have to be bald. But I'm looking at these guys. I'm going, well, maybe being an attorney, And by the way, every attorney also had facial hair, like I have, of one sort or another. Every attorney in that place, the judge didn't, but the attorneys did. And I'm wondering why. And I think, there was a thing for a time where movie directors all had beards. And I think Steven Spielberg explained it once. So when you were a young director, especially, you grew facial hair to look older. In other words, to command a certain authority. So that's the reason why a lot of, Scorsese had a beard, Spielberg had a beard. All the big major directors had beards. So Coppola,
Don't have anything to say about that.
Well, because you don't know anything about growing a beard. Well, you will, though, if you live long enough. You get these little hairs.
Teeny hairs.
My mother had this one hair when I finally took her to the old folks' home, and they cleaned her up. They had to shave it. She had one hair, and I kept wanting to always go over and just pull out, but it was like down to here. One hair coming out of her. That
happened to me once until the light was shining in, through the window in the bathroom one day. What is that? And I thought it was a loose hair fell out of my head. No, it was stuck to the end of my chin, and nobody had ever mentioned it to me.
Yeah, well, I wondered, when it went bald, where did all my hair go? And I suddenly realized it went to my ears and my nose.
Yes, that's true.
The
ailments of old age.
Yeah, and that's it. Since we're on, this is being shown on your webpage too. It's all in place with the theme that you have about aging, which,
What it's really like to get old.
Yeah, what it's really like to get old. Is there any, you talk about that, what it's like to get old, and yet is there any one template for what it's like to get old? I mean, doesn't everybody age in a different way?
Well, there are certain things, like most men go bald.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of women lose their hair.
Mm-hmm.
All slow down. We all lose muscle mass.
Yeah.
We all spread out among all of us, millions, have different kinds of terrible diseases that afflict many of us.
Mm-hmm.
It's there are commonalities that, because your body stops working as well. So all those kinds of things happen to us.
Yeah.
Those are all we have in common. But the big thing we don't have in common is when they happen. We age at very different rates. Mm-hmm. There are 50-year-olds who are decrepit already, and there are people in their 80s and 90s who are in great shape.
Who was it? Who was it?
And there's no, it's not. There's not an age where certain things happen. At what time? And when do you go gray? I started going gray in my mid-30s.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, I know people my age, their hair is brown or whatever color it ever was. It's never gone gray yet, and they're well into their 70s and so on.
Well, I mean, they say baldness for men comes from their mother's father. If my grandfather,
I would not believe that for 1 second.
No, they said that.
No, not everybody.
Because my father had a fairly decent head of hair. My maternal grandfather was bald as a billiard cube. So I think that's where I got it from.
Well, you can believe anything you want.
Well, anyway, while we've still got some time here.
Yes.
So you said you watched the proceedings. I didn't get to see the impeachment proceedings because I was in court all day. And
you're not going to talk about that. You shouldn't do that, because then everybody is going to wonder, what the hell was he in court for? It's not a good idea to leave people up in the air like that.
Well, because I murdered somebody and I'm defending myself. Okay? No, the audience knows pretty much why I was there.
Nobody knows.
Yes, because it's been an ongoing story on this program about what.
Not on mine. Not when it's on my.
Well, not when it's on yours. But anyway, the point I'm saying is, I was in court and I couldn't watch the proceedings, but every time I saw it, it looked like some guy boring everybody else standing in front of some marble.
I don't think it was boring at all. I think those, 6 or 7 House managers who were doing all the talking for the most. Yeah. I thought it was wonderfully put together, that they really used videotape extremely well to make their points. There was, I think it was Wednesday night. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday night when, does that show on your screen?
Well, now you have light on your face, and I can see you have a mustache and a beard.
A page came up that shouldn't come up,
yeah.
And did you see it? I mean, was it there on our screen?
No.
Okay. I just forgot to turn it off, I think.
Yeah.
At any rate, what's his name? Was it Schumer?
Yeah.
Who just did a wonderful, strong, sensible, smart pointed recount of the day of what everybody, and they did what lawyers do in court. They made the whole thing a narrative of explaining all that happened using video clips wonderfully. I just think they did a masterful job.
Yeah.
And I followed this so closely that I know most of what they were talking about, and I wasn't bored.
Were they doing a masterful job because you agreed with them? Or
No, I'm not talking about substance. I'm talking about presentation.
Well, what I'm saying is that if I were to go to a Republican, they might say they did a terrible job.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to say that.
Yeah.
But they don't know anything about television production, and these folks on the Democrats obviously do, or they had somebody advising them. Plus that part, I think they're all attorneys, or all but one or two.
Yeah.
And they know how to deliver a story in a court, which is essentially what they're trying to do.
Right.
And make it clear and don't get into the weeds too far that everybody can't understand legal phrases or anything like that. And in that way they did just a wonderful job. They were I don't expect him to be convicted. I think that our country is so far gone down the road of whatever not democracy is, and that steady 40% or whatever that support Trump would support him if he did that, what is now, the famous standing in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shooting people. That they would support him even if he did that. I don't think that there's any way out of that. And I think it will be
in your time with Barbara and setting up interviews with people and so on for her. Did you ever have to deal with Donald Trump?
No.
It's amazing, because I would have thought at some point there would have been some interview that you guys did with him at one time or another.
There was never a reason. He never did anything worthwhile talking about.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just wanted, I wondered whether you'd ever met up with him.
No, I mean, I can't think that he ever in his entire life did something that was remarkable and worth mentioning.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But, he sought the line. Let me put it this way. He sought the limelight, so I would have thought one of the limelights he sought would have been your show.
Oh, but we'd never put him on.
Yeah, okay.
There was no reason. Yeah. Everybody who was ever on the show, there was a reason beyond their celebrity or fame.
Right.
A lot of times the only way really big stars will do an interview is that they have a project to promote.
Yeah.
So they had a movie coming up, or if it was a musician, a new album or something. And so you go along with that because usually people of the highest celebrity stature will agree to do one, at most two interviews to promote something.
Yeah.
And in those days, the Barbara Walters Specials was so important that was one that they would seek out.
Yeah. People don't realize that, but when people have a movie coming out, they actually have it written in their contract how many interviews they will do promoting the movie. And sometimes they say, I'll only do two. Or sometimes
often one.
Well, sometimes they're so big they go, I'm not going to do any. But you kind of want to do them because you promote the movie, people go to see the movie, that gives you box office, that gives you a bigger check next time. So but they never come out unless they've got something to promote. But do you remember the days when you were at Cavett years ago, where somebody would go on the Cavett show and didn't have anything to promote? They just wanted to go on the Cavett show?
That was more a discussion show than a Q&A, though.
Well, it was your typical.
Slightly different sensibility with the public.
But I'm saying,
and not that people weren't on that show to promote things, but you're right. Sometimes they weren't.
In those days, if they went on Carson, for instance, there were people who went on Carson and had nothing to promote. They just went on Carson.
It kept their name out there. The very top stars wouldn't do that.
But today they really won't come out unless they've got something to promote.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all kind of changed. How times change. So do you have anything to promote? Of course you do. You have timegoesby.net.
You can do that so well. I don't need to do it.
One of the most fabulous sites on the internet. How's that?
I like this part.
cupping your hand to your ear. So, I knew radio announcer. What we used to do, folks, is we would cup our hand to our ear. You know this, because you can hear what you sound like when you do that. And so a lot of announcers would have the script in one hand and their hand up to their ear here and be announcing using that as their. But since we have earphones,
I tell you, that's the one thing watching Congress last week, and the speakers, who were, especially Schumer, so good at what he does.
Yeah.
But and they were reading. This had all been written for them, each of their speeches, and they would get lost. I mean, given how many hours they were spending in Congress, and you have to eat and sleep too, they probably didn't have a lot of time to study this. But I so wanted to go and kind of help them out, and instruct, underline this word and slow down when you speak here, move this quickly, and so on. And it was just, I just felt like, years and years ago when I used to work for a living, I could have helped them out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But anyway, we put our hand to our ear like that. And I just know that some people still do that, even though they're wearing earphones. They don't need,
But it's an old habit. If you're old enough.
Hey, listen, you're looking swell, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you.
And
except for the little beard, I just never noticed.
I'm sorry. It's because I'm now lighting my face. Okay.
I just happen to not like that kind of beard.
You never noticed that I had a beard.
Well, if I did, it didn't stand out to me.
Well, get used to it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen. Still busting my balls after all these years. That's Ronnie Bennett. TimeGoesBy.net. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that was Ronnie Bennett. That's our old ex. She comes on here about once every 2 weeks, and we have a good little conversation. And she, as I say, busts my balls. And that's it. What? My chair is stuck on the thing. Okay. All right. Are we okay? All right. We're all right. Oh, is the light on? Yeah, the light's on. Everything's ready to go here. I got some things to talk about. I lost my well, I'll talk about that in a second. Let me see here. Let me see. First of all, I want to turn on the Skype. I would turn it on, except some of you people start calling while I'm doing, the interview, and the audio for the Skype is on the same channel as my audio for the interview, and so therefore it then gets very messy. Okay? All right. Okay. Wow, it takes forever for Skype to click in here and get working and so on. And let me see here. What is this? What the hell is this about? Oh, hold on a second, folks. I want to, let me see here. I want to get rid of Skype. Where do I go here? Close this down because it doesn't have my GabNet logo. I don't know what happened to it. Okay. Quit Skype, okay, and then start Skype up again. This happened earlier on my other line, and then the second time I sign in, there's the GabNet logo. Okay, so they did some kind of stupid change there at Skype, and what can I say? Okay. Anyway, our Skype lines are open. It's GabNet Live is our Skype ID if you want to call us. Any of you out there, be happy to talk with you. And let's see who's going to be the first to call in tonight. Maybe nobody. Oh, no, here he comes. Here he comes. Phil Meyer is the first guy online. And he's, let me see, are you there, Phil? Huh? Are you there, Phil?
I don't hear anything.
Phil, you should hear something. You're not hearing anything. Oh, boy. He's not hearing anything. I hear him, so I know we're okay. Let me see, Phil. Phil's got a new setup, and apparently it's not working for him. There, we.
Oh, I don't hear you on the Skype.
You don't hear me
Yeah.
on the Skype.
Well, all I have is your Gabnet logo. It's a Skype thing.
Okay. Well, let me see here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me go up here to my.
There you are.
My.
Or there's Jeff.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Hey, Jeff.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear Jeff, and the only communications I have with you, Alex, is via the
Okay, hold on
YouTube
a second.
one.
There is some reason why the microphone isn't working here. Let me try it here now. No, is that it?
Alex.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, there's Alex. He can hear us,
Can you
but
hear? Can you
we
hear?
just can't hear him.
Can you hear? Okay, we just shut.
I
up a
think
second.
that he'll probably.
I'm gonna shut them up for a second. Let me see here. Audio codec. Huh. Well, that's weird. Oh boy, what has changed here? Microphone, codec. They would be able to hear me if I did that. Default device. Let me see here. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No, they can't hear me. Oh boy, what the hell is this about? Hold on a second, folks. Let me cancel this out. Let me open up Skype. Let me open up the audio here. Let me see if I can figure out why it's not doing it. It should be, we should have a USB audio codec, and it should be working, but it's not. Okay. Automatically adjust the phone. Let me see here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me at all? I guess they can. I don't know what this is all about. Hold on. Let me go here. Let me see here. Sound preferences. Just everybody stop it for a second, okay? I can't do this if you keep calling me like this. Let me see here. What's the problem? What is the problem? Let me check the sound preferences. Okay. Line out. Okay. Let me see here. Let me go to this. Wait a minute. Output. Line out should be audio line out port. No. Is it USB? USB codec. Hello. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No, we don't know if they can hear me or not. I have no idea what this is all about. USB audio codec is the output. That should be okay. Okay, well, hold on a second. Phil, can you hear me now?
Okay, I've got your logo.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me.
Only through YouTube. No, only through YouTube.
No. Then that doesn't count.
Only through YouTube.
Well, I don't know what the problem is.
Through YouTube.
All right. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to turn everybody off here. I don't want to have anything to do with this. Oh, boy. Because I know that my audio is going through here. And it's, who knows why it's not going through. All my audio should be going through okay. Sound preferences, output is USB, okay, audio, codec, okay. Input is, oh, I see here. Wait a minute. There's maybe where we're, input level, okay. All right, now let me see here. Let me turn on my Skype. Oh, boy. Let me see here. Let me see if they, because I know I'm getting audio through, okay? And let me see here. Let me go up to my Skype and let me go to preferences. In a moment, I'm going to give up on this and just, oh, there we go. It's working now. Okay, it's working now. All right. Okay, I don't know. Something got changed. And let me see, the output, we had a line out. Okay. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me
Now
now?
Through Skype.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I heard you were going through on YouTube, and that's the only way I was
That
able
doesn't matter, Phil.
Right. Well, the Skype wasn't.
It doesn't matter what goes on YouTube. Okay? So
That's the only way I could communicate with you.
well, you can't communicate with me because that's delayed.
I know, but you heard me.
No, I did. I heard you, but that's all. I got it fixed, Phil. Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, then, goodbye, Phil. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I don't want to argue about this. I just want to get on with the show. I had enough trouble trying to fix a goddamn thing. Oh, boy. This is just a pain in the fucking ass. I don't know why that changed. Nothing changed here except that changed. Here comes Jeff Stein. Okay, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, fine.
Okay, great.
And let's not discuss why you can hear me.
I don't give a shit as long as I can hear you.
I mean, Phil just starts in with all this technical bullshit, and it works. Now shut the fuck up. I mean, what I'm fed up with is I didn't do anything to this equipment over the last couple of days, and somehow the audio output changed it. Input or output changed itself. The audio line out. Or input rather, changed itself. So, could you hear the interview with Ronnie earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that worked. Okay. I didn't change anything here. Okay. Let me call Phil back so he's not mad at me. All right. Okay. Jesus. No, I can't even find Phil's number here, so I can't even call him back. So, Okay, well, Phil, if you're listening, you're free to call now. But he won't. So
He will.
No, he won't. But he's welcome. He's welcome to call if he wants to, because he's listening to YouTube.
Whatever.
Oh God, I give up on this. I really do. It's more than I need. I don't need this. I just got a nice light and everything, but anyway, so.
So tell me, how's?
Well, wait a minute. First of all, Phil, call, will you, Phil? Let me see here. He did call, and I had him. I should be able to call him back. Well, let me see here, Phil. Phil Meyer. Okay. Here we go. Add. Okay. So it's calling Phil Meyer. We'll see if he picks up. No, I mean, I came on here and everything is just like changed up, and I just don't understand why, and it makes no sense at all. Now, you're not hearing any tapping, are you? Any tapping sound?
Yeah, when you're doing that. Yeah, I can hear that.
Well, wait a minute. I just want to make
When
sure.
you do it, I can hear that.
Yeah, but you can't hear it as a major sound on your ear
No.
coming through. Can you hear this, Phil?
No.
Can you hear this?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure it isn't going through them there. Phil, I just don't want to get into a big discussion on why something works and why something doesn't work. Let me put you guys' pictures in here. There we go. Hold on.
Just trying to be helpful.
Well, I mean, I got the problem solved, so that was it.
It was it for you. Okay.
No, but we got it solved.
All right.
I don't know why things suddenly decide when I'm over the weekend, when I'm doing nothing, why they suddenly decide to change.
I talked to you on Skype on Monday.
Yeah, but you didn't talk to me on this system.
Oh,
you talked to me on my Echo.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you talked to me on Echo, so I that wasn't that wasn't my
Oh, it wasn't Skype.
this.
Oh,
No,
you answered
it
Skype
wasn't
on-
this. But I did an interview Sunday with Ronnie, and she heard me just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So it could well be that in the last couple of days, and I think it's true, Skype upgraded something,
It's a
and
possibility.
maybe it threw off my inputs up here.
Yeah.
So
That happens.
yeah, who knows why that happens? So I mean, it's just that, and everybody's trying to fuck me over, and my life is just being fucked over completely. Wait a minute, here comes Tony Magno. Okay, let me see here. Let me get Tony a little slot here so we can see Tony Magno. Magno. Where is he? There, Webhead. There we go. And boom, there's Tony. Okay. No, I mean it's just I don't know what happened. So just to tell you what's been happening, everything in my life, right? Okay, has been fucking itself up. It's just one massive screw up after another. First thing that happened to me, by the way, I mentioned it to Ronnie on Saturday. I'm at Costco and I'm walking down the aisle and I just tap somebody else's cart, and I got my earphones in, so I just pull back, negotiate myself around, just a tap, not a smash, not a
Were you riding the cart, the electric cart?
No.
Or were you pushing?
I was pushing the cart, and I just tapped the cart, and it's this black guy. He starts yelling at me. Say you're sorry.
Oh my God.
And I go, and now I will say I'm sorry. Usually I do. It was just so insignificant that I didn't feel it was necessary, right? Mm-hmm. And I go up to him. I said, "What's your problem?" And he says, "You didn't say you were sorry for tapping into me."
Oh my God.
And I went, "Well, I just tapped into you. What's your problem?" He says, "You're racist."
Right in Costco?
Now, I listen. I've heard of the Ku Klux Klan, and I've heard of the Nazis, and in their racism, nowhere did the act of tapping someone else's cart come into play.
The nuts are
Wearing a hat.
Huh?
Wearing a hat.
Wearing a hat. So,
Oh
I mean,
Or, yes or no? Were you wearing a hat?
yeah.
Well, he could have mistaken you for a skinhead.
And then he called me an old coot.
A skinhead.
No, he called me an old coot.
Yeah.
And which is, of course, ageist. And I said, "I'm not the racist. You're the racist." And I started yelling at him. I started really going after him. And he's going after me. He's like getting in my face, Now, I'm not a racist, okay? But let me say something about black people. All right? And I've learned this as I've lived in Harlem. They don't like their space invaded. Okay? And so a minor tap on a shopping cart is a major violation to some black people.
In Marin County, they don't like their space invaded either. If you try to make change your lane in Marin, people cut you off into oncoming traffic and let you have a head-on collision rather than let you in. You're invading their space.
Yeah, but these aren't. We aren't talking about black people here. These are just white people.
Yeah, oh, definitely white people.
Privileged Marin County white people.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think it matters black, white, privilege.
Well, no. But there's something about the intruding on space. If you bump into a black guy, you better say you're sorry. If he bumps into you, he never says he's sorry. It's just on, but In fact, he sometimes imagines you bumped into him. But I mean, I went. That really what? And I finally decided I'm going to become a racist.
Are you starting to become a Republican?
No, I decided to become a racist. It's
same thing.
Same thing, I guess. And the reason I've decided to become a racist, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest with you, is if I'm going to be accused of being one, I may as well get my money's worth, right?
Right.
Right.
That's kind of, that's very insulting that
just how they can casually say, I'm not even going to say about the skin color, like just to say something like that to somebody in a supermarket is very, if you say it, then you're racist.
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. Is that what bothers me about what he said wasn't so much that he called me a racist, because, I'm basically, I can say I've lived a fairly decent life that way where I'm not a racist. But, and I'm not going to say I'm not a racist because I'm white, and then if I say I'm not a racist, they go, well, you don't know you're a racist, So I'll admit to the fact that I'm white. There are certain misconceptions I might have, blah, blah, blah. Let's go on. Let's get rid of that. But the thing that bothered me was how he was diminishing black problems in this country by taking them down to that point where I was a racist because I tapped his card.
Yeah, it's
he was
intelligent.
I have a feeling that has to do with race or racism. I think you just tapped into a guy that was a fucking idiot.
Yes, the maniacs. Is that the one in Long Island City? I don't shop there. Me and my brother go to one in Long Island. I refuse to go to that Costco, I think it is, because I went there once and I think it's a nut house. It's always congested. We drive out to Long Island. We went there once. I was like, I'm not coming here again. I said, I just there was too many people all over the place. I felt like they were on top of me. Like, actually, they were in a hurry. Like,
I've decided I've really got to put you guys on the other side of here, because I'm always looking this way, looking at stuff, and then it doesn't look like I'm looking at you, and I should be looking at you.
You should have told him, Alex. I'm not a racist. I voted for Obama.
Yeah, right. Well, but
the shitty president. How do you like
so that was the beginning of my shitty week. Okay, now we're going to get to my really shitty part of my week.
Worse than that.
Okay, but no, wait a minute. My week got worse. Okay. Oh my God. So Monday I'm supposed to go in for my first course of radiation.
Yeah.
And on Friday, a woman from my doctor's office calls me and says, listen, we just need an okay by you to obtain your slides from your biopsy. In other words, the actual tissue, tissue slides. And I said, what do you need them for? And she said, we always like to have them here on record. Okay. And I said, fine. That was all. That was all in the call. I said, how does this affect what I'm supposed to do Monday? And she said, well, I don't know. You're going to have to talk to them about it. I don't know, So comes Monday, I get in a car and I have it take me to the place where I'm going to be radiated, which, by the way, I hate to say this, it's in the same building as a children's ward.
Oh, that's tough.
But it's in the basement, and I'm sure it's lead lined, okay? But I just think about, you got children up on about 2 floors, and you got basically the Manhattan Project going down in your basement, So anyway, I go there and I go, I'm here, Bennett Schwarzman. I'm here for a 2 o'clock zapping, and they look at the list and they go, well, let's see, I have you here for 4 o'clock. And I'm going, 4 o'clock? And then he goes, well, wait a minute. You canceled your appointment.
Oh, shit.
I said, I didn't cancel my appointment. He said, somebody did. And I said, well, let's get to the bottom of this. So he went and got this woman, who I guess is a radiologist. And she said, oh, they called in the last Friday and canceled the radiation. I said, what? Why? She said, well, because they hadn't gotten the pathology slides yet. And they need the pathology slides. And I said, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. I said, I did the prep last night. I drank, it had that tablespoonful of milk of magnesia, which in and of itself is worthy of a gold medal. I said, and then this morning I had to do the fleet enema, and then I had to shit my brains out. And now you're saying to me that you aren't going to be doing the radiation today? She says, we can't do it. They canceled it. But we'll take you up to your doctor. So they take me up to the first floor, the main floor, And there's my doctor's office, which I forgot it was in that same building. And I meet up with my doctor, and he says to me, "Oh, well, we canceled it because we can't do it until we have the slides evaluated by our own pathologist." Now I'm thinking to myself, I said to him, I said, if you've known about this for 2 weeks, maybe 3. You went and you did the thing where you went in and put in the gold posts and the thing, and then we did the simulation of the radiation thing and everything like that. And you didn't think to send away for the pathology? He said, "Oh, I asked my nurse to. I guess she forgot." What?
She also forgot to call me and cancel the fucking appointment.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself now, what's going through my head is I've got cancer, and now I'm relying on this gang that can't shoot straight.
And they worked on Giuliani.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But anyway.
So did you meet the actual?
What? Did I meet what?
Did you meet the actual lady who screwed up?
No, I've never seen her yet.
You'll never know because they'll all just kind of look at you funny, and you'll have to guess which one it is.
I mean, again, they to begin with, they should have never done that, putting in the gold posts and the spacer and putting me under to do that before they had the pathology. His explanation to me was a few years back, there was some guy who they had did a what do you call it, a thing on, and he had a Gleason 8. And so they radiated him only to find out that he only had a Gleason 6, which wouldn't have demanded this, okay? And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate it because all medicine now is defensive medicine. It isn't proactive medicine. But, at least you do this first, then you do the posts in the prostate, then you do the simulation, and then you tell me to show up for radiation, and they're ready there to zap me with their ray gun, Instead, look what happens. So how am I supposed to feel about this?
Instills trust.
Huh? What?
It instills a lot of trust. It
instills a lot of fucking trust. And now, I'm in a position, I've got prostate cancer. I need this thing taken care of. I said to him, is holding it off for a couple of days going to cause problems of it getting worse? And he said, nah. He said, it's very slow growing. This stuff's slow growing even when it's aggressive. So I said, okay. I was very nice, but he was very apologetic, and I was very nice about it. But I walked away with the feeling about, I really would love to go find myself another doctor. But I'm in the middle of this game now, and he's got his life in my hands. And I can't exactly dump him. Because if I go, say, over to Sloan Kettering, I start from square one. I mean, they have all the material on me, and all the pre-work's been done on me. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. And that so put me off, and it still got me. And today, he said, I'll call you tomorrow and let you know what's happening, because we should get the slides tomorrow, and I'll see if I can speed up the guy doing our guy looking at them. And I didn't hear anything from him today. And I'm going to wait till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, and if I haven't heard from him, I'm calling up and yelling and screaming, Yeah.
What it'll do is cause you to start asking a lot more questions ahead of time.
Well, I assume that they made the appointment with me. They told me when I was supposed to show up, and all of that.
Well, you find out with all these screw-ups, and I did, with a lot of things that I went through, is all of a sudden you start learning to play the game, is what they say.
By the way, let me change my panel here, because you can see that's Kevin. Wait a minute, I thought I put Kevin up. Hold on a second. Let me put Kevin in. Everything's going screwy tonight. Let me see here. Here's Hog Rider. Okay, now you'll see Kevin come up. There he goes. Boom, there's Kevin.
But you start learning to play the game, and you find yourself, you're doing most of the work because you're bugging the hell out of them. But that's the way it is. You gotta start start maintaining all that crap yourself and asking all the questions. You keep asking the same questions, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, but earlier, all you guys, by the way, it's strange, all you guys heard, okay, I don't understand it. You all heard Ronnie in the interview earlier. Okay, well, and you heard me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, a minute. I heard her on YouTube, not on Skype. And you were coming through fine on YouTube. It was the Skype that we were having the problem.
You were having problems getting it from Skype. Yeah. Anyway. So I mean, that really it depressed me. It still is depressing me because they didn't call me today. So then on top of that, next step is today I had to go to my dentist because I had this tooth, and the tooth had an old metal filling that had fractured and was loose. So they had, and she said, it's awfully close to a nerve. We may have to do a root canal. This was the other day. So today she explained the same thing to me before she started. And then she went in and she managed to do it without doing a root canal, which is fine. But she says, the crown next to it is falling apart. And so we better replace that because what it's going to do is it may cause more decay to be created on the other tooth again. So I go, okay, how much is that going to be? They say about $500 out of my pocket. Okay. Out of their pocket, So I go, all right, let's do it. Right? She says, and by the way, the crown that's falling apart on the bottom back has decay under the crown, which is falling apart. And she said, we may go in there and find that it's a root canal tooth, that it's just completely decayed and we can't do anything about it. In which case, they'll pull the goddamn thing, which I don't mind. It's all the way in the back. What do I need that tooth for anyway, right? But now, when I first went to this dentist about a year ago, it was because I had this tooth pulled and I wanted to get an implant. And they said, we can't do an implant until we fix your mouth and all these other problems you got in it. And it's been one after another. And now with this is putting me over the amount that the insurance will pay. It's like $500 for this crown, $500 for the other crown, how much for the cleaning that I had, how much for the tooth that just got fixed, and then how much money do I have left over? I need $1,600 for them to take care of half. So I guess I'm just going to forget about even trying to do this implant. But that got to me. And then on the way home, somehow, I lost my senior MTA Metro Pass.
Oh, boy.
I used it, but I put it back. I thought I put it back in my wallet, but when I came home, it wasn't in the wallet. So I had to apply now to have them replace it, which will be 3 weeks. So I'll be paying full fare for 3 weeks.
Now you see why George Washington had wooden teeth. He was up to the top level of his insurance, and he elected wood rather than an implant.
But nothing's going right. Nothing's going right. It's just an absolute clusterfuck. Okay, so those are my problems, folks. Yeah.
You should go to a veterinarian surgeon.
Probably.
They charge a lot less.
And plus, when I'm through, you give me a chew toy.
They give you a cookie.
No, I mean, I said to, what was I telling you? I was talking to Bubbles today. And I said to Bubbles, is it just because I'm old that I'm griping about this stuff? I mean, would I have let this roll off my back 40 years ago? And I don't think so. I think I'd still be pissed.
You
I
didn't have
think I've
these.
listened to you for a while. You've always spoke like that.
No, but I mean, I could have had bad problems and then not had a doctor call me back. You know, I mean, it's pretty shitty, you know. And then I get all these things from Mount Sinai saying, "Would you like to donate to Mount Sinai?" Fuck you. You know.
Tell them to build the insurance company.
I don't know. That hospital is turning into a piece of shit. It really is.
Really?
Oh, I mean, it's looking like a piece of shit now.
Oh, something old inside?
Yeah.
Try Kaiser.
Is Kaiser really?
Kaiser.
Well, are they still up there in the Mason district or whatever? Masonic
Up
district?
above Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had my second angioplasty
That
there.
that building has been there since I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's how old that building is.
Oh yeah. Used to be a Sears near there too.
You're right. Right down the street. What's there now?
I don't know. It's probably a part of Kaiser.
It's probably part of Kaiser, yeah. But I mean, I just, come on. Give me a break. This is really disgusting. So
At least it could only get better.
Oh, I don't
believe
believe that. The only good news I got in all of this is that this tooth didn't need to have a root canal.
Oh, that's good.
But the bad news I got was we better take care of that thing next door to it because otherwise it will. If we put a nice new tooth in there, you'll be good as new, and it won't hurt the tooth next to it. I'm going.
I thought you had the post already put in for your implant.
No.
Oh, they haven't started the implant?
No, I keep waiting to start the implant, but every time I do, they find another thing.
It's your dentist. I hate the fucking dentist. I hate it because it's a money pit. That's all it is.
Well, it is kind of a money pit, yeah. But
every time I go in there, I just want to leave.
I know I need this crown changed. It's falling apart. It's chipped and it's falling apart, right?
They put temporary on?
They'll put a temporary on it. Do you know what's funny? I actually had a new crown put in, I think it was here somewhere. And when she went to do it, the reason she did it was she looked at the tooth and I said, I'm having a little problems with this tooth or whatever. And she looked at it and she says, that's a crown. That's a temporary crown, don't you? I said, what? He says, somewhere along the line, somebody did, a root canal on the tooth or put a crown on the tooth, and it was a temporary crown. And I said, and they never said, should we put on the permanent one?
Oh, wow. And it stayed in all that time.
It was like 10 years old.
You should have told her now it's permanent.
And I'm thinking, not bad. Why am I having it replaced? Well, you can have a temporary crown in there. Why not?
Why not? I've been doing something.
Why not? If chiclets will work,
Just don't eat anything hard. I don't eat any hard pretzels no more or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if chiclets will work, let's just do that. But
if it's time that you're trying to deal with, do the implant. Have her clean up the decay under the crown that's breaking up. Put a temporary crown on there, and then next year, when your renewal comes around.
Well, no, half the work is her doing all that, and then the crown. You know what's really interesting about crown? I've told you this about crowns before. I had a girlfriend who, to put herself through college, was working for an outfit that made crowns, and that she would deliver them to the doctors. That was her job.
A lab.
Yeah, and she said one day, she said to me, "You do know how much these crowns cost, don't you?" And I said, "How much?" She says, "Half the price the doctor's charging you for them." So when the doctor would charge you like $1,200 for a crown, it only cost him $600. So really, my question is, yes, I realize that he should be paid for the installation of the crown.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the skill, but not for the full cost of the crown.
Are you going to get your crown changed in Central Park, or are you going to go to his office where he has staff, insurance, overhead?
Listen, my dentist, in all deference to her, okay, happens to be very good. She's very competent. I mean, she took the old filling out of this tooth today, and then she spent the rest of 45 minutes putting the new filling in and grinding it down and getting it the right shape and all of that, because they don't do metal anymore, amalgam or whatever they called that in the old days. They just don't do that anymore.
You know they're having such good business. I don't mean it as a joke. They'll never say, if you come in this month to do this type of work, we'll give you a discount. They know they have the business.
Well, I get a discount. And I get a discount.
But you know what they say,
I get a discount because of my insurance, who dictates to them, because they're in network, what they can charge for a particular thing. So actually, getting this tooth, this crown replaced, is going to cost $1,000. I'm going to pay $500. And a normal dentist, if I went to my old dentist that I went to before, this crown would cost me $1,700.
That's what it cost me to do it. I paid him in 2 payments. I had to give it to him, but I was like, this son of a bitch. I was wondering how much is he making off this?
Here's my other question, okay? And I've never gotten a decent answer from a dentist on this. Maybe you can answer it, Kevin. Maybe you know the answer to these things because you're up on this stuff, okay? I have a crown that's falling apart. What is the center part of that crown? It's actually probably a gold thing or some kind of metal that they then put the porcelain on, right? They fuse the porcelain to it. So why can't we just send this in and have a new porcelain put on it? Why do we have to get a whole new gold tooth with porcelain surrounding it? And by the way, if it's gold, why not let it show? Yes, Jeff.
Sort of the structure requires a certain amount of flexibility, particularly when you bite something that's thick or hard or whatever, or you decide you're going to crunch on some ice or whatever.
Yeah.
So to take the basic crown is brittle, but it doesn't allow a lot of flexibility. Okay. But the gold part is flexible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the
the
reason that it's a 2-piece design.
Yeah. Also, here's the other question I have. This is a crown. Okay, it is put up on top of a dentist will get it ready by putting a post in there if you have a root canal, or even if you don't, or they will do some kind of preparation if it's just a crown that's going over an existing tooth to get it ready. Why shouldn't I be able to shop around for the crown? Why do I have to use my dentist to charge me whatever he's going to charge me up and over and above what he pays for the crown? Get what I'm saying? In other words, why can't there be places that are called, well, I mean, but it wouldn't this be considered like, what do you call it? The government, when they always sue people for it.
See, people point fingers. If you're the guy that provides the crown and the installation, then you can't point the finger to the other guy that made the crown.
It has nothing to do with it. They want to make it all. Now,
I understand that.
If all of a sudden if we filed an antitrust suit against a dentist and said, look, you're trying to install the crown when really the crown is made somewhere else, why can't this client go and buy the crown and then maybe bring it to you and have you install it, or go to the crown place and they can install it there?
Didn't you bite down?
Maybe go to Costco and get a crown and bring it to them.
Yeah, you should
get two of them.
Yeah,
crowns aren't generic. They have to make them to fit the bite. And
that's correct. But why can't I go to Crowns or Us, okay, and have them fit it for me, and I go back and get it, and it's cheaper than if I have my dentist do it.
Well, see, yeah, and
Maybe
with my dentist,
come on,
he has
you're
his own guy right there that does them.
You're a Republican, Phil. You should love this, because this is if we open this up like this, and people are going to be competing against each other for the cheapest crowns.
Well,
Free enterprise.
It's free enterprise. What you're negating in free enterprise is there's no free enterprise in having you have to buy the crown from your dentist.
It's no different than glasses.
Yeah.
Because I go get my eye exam done at my real doctor, and then I say, give me the prescription. I'll go down to Costco and grab me some glasses, or I'll go to Glasses R Us and get my glasses.
But your doctor, by the way, your doctor who checked your eyes out, gave you a prescription, doesn't say, now I have to send out and get you the glasses, and you have to buy them from him. You don't have to. You can go to Costco, or you can go to an optical house and have them make your glasses. In fact, in most cases, you do. But they don't say, hey, you need glasses. Here's a prescription. Now I'll get you have to buy the glasses from me. Well, they're doing the same thing with the crown. You have to buy the crown from me.
Yeah, because where I go, they walk you right into the room and say, okay, here's the showroom, and they sit you down and they start showing you frames and stuff. And I go, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'll see you later. Give me my prescription. And I walk out the door.
Yeah.
Ever see this company
Because
Warby Parker? It's a new thing that they're making glasses, and they're very inexpensive, and they'll send you like 5 pair at a time.
Have you ever gone to that website?
No, but they opened up a order place around the corner from me.
Yeah, I went to that.
They start off real cheap, and then by the time you add the screws and the little this and the little that, they're very expensive.
Really? Somebody told me that they had a good experience.
Oh, they might have, because they might have picked the cheapest ones or whatever. They do have inexpensive ones, but I went to there and I tried to buy some glasses, and I was going, geez, I thought these guys are supposed to be cheap. And by the time I was done, I was up in the $200 range.
That is cheap. Most of the $6 to $1,000.
No.
I want those Stanton $59 ones.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that with glasses is a good example. You can go buy your glasses anywhere. I have an eye doctor, and he'll give me a prescription, and he doesn't sell them to me there. Okay.
He could.
He could, but he doesn't.
Well, this could tell you need a crown, charge you for an inspection, and then send you to an.
No, she can do all the prep work on it, and put it on the temporary crown, and then I go down to Crowns or Us, and they pull that one and put on the new one they've just made for me.
Yeah. Well, next time you want to be a dentist, school for it.
Yeah. Yes, Jeff.
Does Costco have a doctor who will inspect your eyes?
Yeah.
A real doctor?
Do they?
Yeah, they have an optometrist department.
Right.
They do. Okay, so you can actually have your eyes checked there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I might think about doing that next time.
Well, my glasses, for me, all I have to do is find the ones that, they're magnifiers.
See, the thing is, Jeff, is that some of those places will just give you a general eye exam. And, for me, they're looking at the back of my eyeballs. I got other issues with eyes. And they don't do all those puff tests and all those other things. And, if you've got general eye stuff, go in and get your eyes checked to see if you got 20 or 40 or whatever and get your glasses there. That's great. But if you got other stuff you got to get checked, probably isn't a good place.
One thing I appreciate about my dentist is that she does care that every inch of my mouth is okay. But I thought that when she got finished with me in November, that everything in my mouth was okay, that she had checked everything out and it seemed to be okay. But all of a sudden she's finding yeah, I know this tooth is falling apart in the back. I haven't cared about it, because it's in the back. I don't even bite down on it that much. But I do need this one here, and I can't afford to get that done because, so. Next year at this time, when I'm still waiting for my radiation, I will, oh boy, I'm amazed. I'm just amazed,
I got something. I got something in the mail.
What?
Lee Presson's album.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Did he send it to you?
No. I bought it off his site.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
He didn't sign it for you though.
It's I didn't. I don't.
How much did he charge for it?
With freight and tax, it was $16 and change.
Oh, that's not bad. That's fine.
Yeah. And I mean, it's even got cellophane over it.
Did you tell him Alex sent you?
Well, no, we talked to him the other night, and I said, well, gee, I wanted the CD version. Then it popped up on my Facebook feed, and I bought it.
Oh, okay. By the way, there are some spaces, if you notice right there, it looks like the back of my mouth does right now. And we could use some more callers here. What happened to Kath? I haven't heard from Kathleen for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Does she have some stuff going on?
Huh?
Does she have some stuff going on? Some family stuff?
Not that I know of, but
Oh, she communicates with Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing. She usually chat back and forth. She tells me about your fun stories, Alex. But not really. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, well, I just like to have her here. So if you're listening, Kathleen, at one point or another, give us a call.
I wonder with Renee. Remember we got the call from Hawaii you got the other day. I wonder who that was.
That was what's his name? Lee.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, he wound up calling Jack.
Okay.
And then Jack told him that I wasn't taking calls because I wasn't able to answer them. I don't know where Jack got that fucking idea. If you look, Jack, right now, if you listen to this program, you see I have no trouble getting anybody online.
Except in the beginning.
Well, tonight, I didn't touch anything on this computer. I never went to that, okay? I never changed it.
It happened because you're a racist.
Could
can't
be.
get open.
Skype is affected by your.
You got to go to the other one.
I think Skype sometimes can affect things like that. Here's the other thing. I'll tell you another thing, folks. And here's the old fart going to work again. By the way, how does my light look? Do I look all lit up now?
Yeah, no shadows.
Huh? No shadows. No, it's better. It looks better than it looks better than this.
Yeah.
So anyway. And I was thinking of getting another one for over here, but I don't know if I want to overlight it. Anyway.
Turn them down so you can make it more even and turn it.
So part of the thing that griped me about this whole thing with the hospital is on top of that I had to go on a diet, which is basically I had to go on a full low carb diet because they don't want any gas in you when you do this radiation. I don't know, maybe the radiation plus the gas will make you explode. I have no idea. But anyway.
Maybe just don't like the smell.
So on Sunday we had a party out in New Jersey that we had to go to, and it was our friends who are Chinese. And they were holding their
what
Chinese
kind of food did they have, Tony?
They don't make the regular chinks. They never eat their. That's American Chinese food.
Sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
Concerned about getting the coronavirus or?
Yeah, did you hear? Let him tell the story first. That's serious shit, I think.
Anyway, we went out to our Chinese friends, who they had the Chinese New Year party, and they had like all the families of the people they knew who were Asian, who came to this party and brought their kids. And it was wonderful. I said, the wonderful thing about Chinese New Year is it's a family New Year, where New Year for us is like go get drunk with adults, you know?
That's true.
And it was
Leave the
wonderful to
kids
see all
home,
these
yeah.
kids, and they actually had a dragon dance there. They had in fact, if you go to my Facebook page, it's there. I put it up. And they were, it was wonderful. But they had all this great food. And I had to be careful what I ate so I wouldn't be farting the next day.
Any spare? Did they have boneless spare ribs? I love that. Oh.
No,
Well,
no,
Alex,
they made some stuff. He, this guy who was holding the party, who we know, he made a beef thing that was just to die for. Just
Yeah,
to
I love
die
Chinese
for.
food. When I was in San Francisco, my brother took me to Chinese food. We had it every night when we were near Chinatown. I loved it.
But the point was that I couldn't eat a lot of it. And had I not had this thing the next day,
You could have pigged out.
I would have pigged out on this shit, right? And had a
'Cause we-
good time. Instead, I'm like, they're going to me like, why aren't you eating that or this? And I'm going, because I'm on this diet, because I got to have this radiation thing tomorrow, and I can't do it. And so they even fucked me up on that, you know? So now I'm figuring, fuck you. I'm just going to eat anything I want. Hey, tomorrow's radiation,
right.
great. I'm going to eat whatever I want. And if I fart, smell it, pal.
That's right. Payback's a bitch. Next time they're going to get it.
Yeah. You know, what do you mean your radiation can't get through gas? If it can't get through gas, it's not going to get through my prostate. What?
Just say, oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, nobody called me.
Nobody called me and told me.
Possibly the movement during the fart could cause the cyberknife to not, you know how they have to keep you still.
Listen to Phil, how he's sounding so scientific right now.
Does he know?
Well, Phil, we always go to Phil because he knows everything about medicine.
When they cut, when they do, he's a doctor now.
I don't know about voodoo.
Yeah, but no, he is
sphincter
right
moves to the left.
about keeping you still. But I have a cast that was made that I'm going to lie in, where I won't. It'll keep me still, completely still.
Does it come with a death mask?
But the cyberknife process also works on a method of being able to adjust for the movement of the prostate because it wobbles or something, you know. But supposedly it's very accurate, you know. Supposedly it's very good.
There's a device called the sphincter stabilizer that they use.
They also, I hear they also have a cyber knife. They actually have the actual cyber knife over at Sloan Kettering. I guess I could go over there.
Oh, my mom goes there. They have it's nice in there. It's all up. You can see it's nice.
Does your mother have cancer?
Well, she's in, she doesn't have. She did the operation there for the colon cancer. They
okay. So that's why she was a Sloan.
So when we go there, we just went for her CT scan. She was clean.
Because they wouldn't see me at Sloan Kettering when I just wanted a second opinion until I had some proof that I had prostate cancer.
You're right about that, Alex. You can only go there if you have. Yeah. Now my cousins are firing me.
I feel I'm part of a club now. Hey guys, you know?
I got it. Can I come in now? God forbid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
contagious.
You know, Alex, you want to laugh? But you mentioned the Chinese, and this is a true story. My Uncle Tommy, my father's older brother, he had a very good sense of humor. Mm-hmm. He would drop all these, he would call, he was Italian, but he would call me Guinea. So we went to Jersey one time. My cousin Chris, they live in a nice area in Cresco. Uh-huh. And my cousin Chris had 2 Chinese friends over for the birthday party. Maybe the kid was 10. So my Uncle Tony, my godfather, right? Mm-hmm. He was there. And Tommy always would just talk. He was into everything. He was just a funny guy. So he used to say, hey, Chopsticks, go get me a soda. My Uncle Tony's like, what are you, stupid? So I'm just joking with him. He's got a name, but he had one of the Lord. He's calling the kid. He said, I'm only joking. Yeah, but the kid's going to go home. I got to tell him he called me Chopsticks. Come on.
Oh, by the way, all of this happened just a few days after the trial.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that ended, you know, which is like.
You had a crazy couple of weeks.
Oh, our trial's a cliffhanger. Stay tuned for the next episode of, so.
Hopefully it gets settled then, right?
Yeah. Says, oh my God, this is Tom Lou. Oh God, Phil's starting in with his annoying jokes. I'm out of here. Paul Jung. I like Phil's jokes, says Paul Jung. And Ms. Tax says, you've got a doggy bag on the food. What? I don't know. I don't see.
Should have got a doggy bag on your food.
Oh, you should have got a doggy bag on your food. Yeah. But anyway, so I just I guess I'm just annoyed with life. I'm annoyed. What I get most annoyed by is when I did my job. Okay, when I had one. Do you all remember that when I had one? Raise your hand.
Had one.
When I did my job, I did it every day that I went into the best of my ability. I did my craft, and I honed it, and I didn't go in half baked. I took it seriously, and and I was trying to be as accurate as possible about things. So it bothers me when I find inefficiency. If you took,
they should have called you at least. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're the doctor. These are your nurses. You got to keep on them. You're responsible. Because in the end, he's responsible for what happened. He's the one who had to apologize. Now, I just wonder if he went back to his nurses and said, never do that again. But I doubt it.
Doubt it.
Yeah, they might have fired him. Or I wonder if they could fire them.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice if they checked my slides and said, oh, this guy doesn't need radiation. That won't happen. That won't happen. They'll probably say, oh, he's a Gleason 9. So.
Enough of the Gleasons. Let's get this over with already.
Yeah.
You missed out on.
By the way, when I talk about a Gleason score, I'm not talking about the ratings on the honeymooners. Okay, so I just wanted to. But anyway, we haven't talked. I guess people. Oh yeah, our numbers are going down, so we better talk about the impeachment. I guess. Did you see that? Hypocrite. What was his name? The guy who did Clinton.
Starr.
Kenneth Starr. What a hypocrite he is.
Oh yeah.
What happened now?
Oh, what a hypocrite he is. He's going. This is terrible what they're doing. Blah 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 blah. And yet he was so gung ho for impeachments when it was Clinton.
Starr said that if he had it to do all over again, he wouldn't have sought impeachment.
Oh, well, thank you very much, you motherfucker. You cost us like $50 million, you piece of shit.
And the Mueller report didn't?
Huh?
And the Mueller report wasn't expensive, too? It was, what, $35 million?
Well, it wasn't what it cost us for that impeachment, and it isn't what's costing for this impeachment now. This impeachment's got to be... times have changed, so there's more money involved. But I haven't been able to watch any of it because I've been too busy getting my teeth drilled and having a trial and trying to fight to get my prostate radiated, So I only watch a little bit of this, and I'm surprised America isn't bored by it already, But I find I was in a cab yesterday, or in a car. I took a Lyft, and... I've taken cars now because they're more convenient and they don't cost that much more than a cab. But in the car, he was listening to the hearings. So I imagine America is kind of riveted to this. Well,
they said the poll today was 75%. The public wants witnesses now.
And it looks like we're probably going to get them because it looks like they say upwards to 10 Republican senators are going to defect from just doing away with that. They want the people to testify as well. And I think that part of that is they realize they have to go back to their constituents and say, hey, there's nothing wrong with them saying, let's listen to this evidence. Nobody's going to not vote for them because they wanted to listen to the evidence. All right? There's much more of a chance that people won't vote for them if they vote against the evidence. Yes, Jeff?
There's one guy who's going to be totally pissed off.
Who?
That's the president.
Yeah, of course. Of course, but it looks like it isn't going to be just up to Susan Collins and Mitt Romney and so on. Mitt Romney had a very good statement that he made. He said he wants to have witnesses, but he also wants the president, if he wants to have witnesses as well, to make an even playing field. And I think everybody would agree with that. If the president wants to present his witnesses, go right ahead. I don't think he will, because he didn't present any witnesses or anybody for the congressional hearings. And now everybody's going around saying, oh, well, they had the congressional hearings and everybody heard everything they had to hear in the congressional hearings. And the fact is, no, they didn't, because he didn't allow a lot of his people to talk in front of the congressional hearings. And the president had every ability to send his people over to make his case, and he didn't. Okay.
That's not true.
Well, it is true. No, he didn't. He didn't send anybody over. He had the ability in those hearings to send his people over to make the case for him. He did not.
Well, he had other reasons. He said that he felt it was a sham.
Well, no, that doesn't matter. Then don't sit around and gripe.
That's
a dog ate my homework.
That's
a dog ate my homework excuse. The fact is that don't not send people over because it's a sham, and then say nobody invited me to send people over. That's bullshit.
And block 71 subpoenas.
Yes. What is the president hiding if he doesn't want people to testify?
Dogate the subpoena.
I understand that every time now that there's going to be a Congress that's in power, that's an opposite party to the president, this is going to be used as a way of getting back at the person that's in power. So,
well, let's face it. To begin with, that person in power has to do something wrong.
But he didn't.
No. In your opinion, he didn't do something wrong. In the opinion of a lot of people, yes, he did. It's a question of you believe the president, and we believe the president as well, based on everything he's said. That what went on. Now, why wouldn't he want Bolton to testify?
And I think it takes a lot more than opinion to do that. They've done a little bit more than just opinion. They've proven.
Mm-hmm.
Look. The thing about
having things that have made them prove,
having your close advisors be subject to this kind of scrutiny doesn't allow for the free flow of discussion at that level. And I think that executive privilege in that situation is warranted.
But when you are using executive privilege to hide a misdoing, then that executive privilege doesn't hold.
I don't think the misdoing reaches the level of impeachment.
Well, maybe you believe that. We happen to think it does.
Yeah, because you guys have been looking for an impeachment since the day he was elected.
No, Phil, this is a guy who was holding up aid to get some kind of political favor from another country.
He said, "Can you help us?" He was investigating.
He said, "Can you do?" Can you do? Was it us? He said.
Yes.
Yes. Can you do us a favor? Well, that could be the personal us, or it could be a cumulative us.
Well, he wanted.
Well,
to
then
know.
I think he should come forward and explain it.
They have.
He hasn't. He hasn't explained it at all.
He doesn't have.
He should come forward. He's being accused.
That's the thing that I'm still in the middle on. I mean, bring it out, because see, I'm still in the middle on the whole thing. I'd like to see him come out and show it.
Yeah,
show it.
I mean, in the whole Clinton thing, Clinton at least was deposed.
Schiff has for the last.
You didn't answer that question, Phil.
Let me finish. Schiff has been saying that he's got irrefutable evidence that Trump, for the last 2.5 years, was colluding with the Russians, was doing all these other things. He doesn't have shit. I think they ought to depose Schiff, because he's a fact witness, and he should tell what he knew. He had irrefutable evidence, he said. And that was for the last 2.5 years.
Well, they may actually ask him to bring it forward if it's allowed to be brought forward into this situation. I'm sure he wouldn't have said it unless he had it.
If they're going to have witnesses, I want to see Ship.
Here's a question.
His name isn't Ship, it's Schiff.
It's Ship. How long did we wait to give them the aid? Does anybody, I mean, I don't know. Was it a few days? Did they get they did get the aid though, right?
Yeah.
Well, after the shit hit the fan,
yeah.
wait? After the shit hit the fan.
Yeah, but he never said to Zelensky that he was holding up anything. All he did was ask him to look into this corruption. But he was holding up he says he was holding up aid.
Why would he care about any kind of corruption that went on in another country? Why?
Of course. Well, because we're giving them $400 million.
Why, Phil? Why? It happened, and why? I'm sure there's a lot of other corruption in the Ukraine. In fact, we know that to be a fact, and it had nothing to do with Hunter Biden. Why did he want the goods on Hunter Biden?
He wanted to know about Hunter Biden.
Why?
And corruption.
Why?
Well, because it stunk.
Wait a minute, it stunk. Wait a minute, it stunk. But why did he need to know that information if it wasn't for his own benefit?
Because
the money was bipartisanly approved already.
Yeah, he has a duty. He has a fiduciary duty to make sure that he's not giving.
No, he has a duty once the Congress.
He has to do it the right way. He goes back to Congress and stops it and talks about it, but he doesn't stop and do it himself.
Because he was ordered by Congress to given the okay to dispense those funds. And in those cases, the president can't block those funds unless he goes back to Congress and asks for them to be blocked.
That's when you try to play king, and you can't play king in our country.
Well, I'm happy that he was looking to stop that money if they were corrupt.
That's fine, but turn around and go back and do it the right way.
If you said, I hear there's corruption in your country and I would like you to make some statements about it, that would be one thing. He just wanted to know about the corruption as it was regarded Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, who he considered his main political adversary in the upcoming election.
He shouldn't have even mentioned Biden in his statement in his phone call. He shouldn't even have brought it up.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have mentioned that name at all.
Phil, and then the one I love is this ambassador to the Ukraine that he got rid of, and the tape that was released of him saying, "Get rid of her, fire her, take her out."
Yeah, get her out of the Ukraine.
No, take her out. He was using a gangsterism to tell them what to do with her.
That's your interpretation.
Well, what does it sound like to you? If I'm writing a script about the mob and they're going to kill somebody, the guy who's ordering the hit says, "Take him out."
This wasn't the mob. He had.
Really?
Stan was that.
Wait a minute. What wasn't the mob?
Well, because what was
Trump isn't mob.
Look,
Trump isn't mob.
No, that ambassador.
Trump isn't mob.
Was talking negatively about Trump, blocking his agenda, and making. I guess Zelensky didn't want her there either, so he wanted to get her out, pack her shit up, put her on.
But the last term was take her out. He sounded like a gangster when he said that.
Sounded that way, but you can't prove that that's what it was.
No, he sounded that way because Trump is a gangster, Phil.
Not a gangster. You know, he had a
Phil,
deal.
He had a mob lawyer. He had a mob lawyer, Phil.
Yeah. Well, if I was going to have a lawyer,
listen to that whole conversation, it sounds like it was in the back room somewhere in the bellows of New York.
That's what you get when you elect somebody from Queens.
That's right.
Well, I want to hear more of those tapes, and I want to hear that the Ukrainian guy testify, and I want to hear Bolton testify, and I want to hear all these people get their ducks in a row, because I think when they're through with it, a lot of these senators are going to be running for the fucking hills and convicting him.
I don't think so. Plus, you need what's the percentage that you need? I don't think that they're going to get that.
I don't think it's 60 something. Is it? What is it? What is it, Jeff?
67, is it?
Jeff, do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it looked like Jeff was trying to say a number.
That 67 sticks in my head. I don't know.
Well, it could happen. You know, if people come in and they say things that seem to resound with the Senate, I think it could well be that they will.
Almost all of the senators that are going to vote for acquittal don't feel that the accusations rise to the level of impeachment. And that's what you're really going to deal with. Did he do something wrong? I guess so.
Well, what in the case of Bill Clinton, did that rise to the level of impeachment?
Yes, because it was perjury.
Oh, I see. But this is okay because you're holding up a foreign government for goods on your political opponent.
Oh, you're saying it's for goods on the political opponent. He's saying he's investigating corruption. So that's
well, it's nice to know that we have a detective and an investigator in our midst.
The people's business. And if he did find out that they had corruption, he could have used the money for the wall.
He wasn't asking about corruption particularly. In the aftermath, when all the shit hit the fan, he started saying, I was trying to root out corruption in Ukraine, which is really Ukraine's job. But I was trying to but no, there was none of that in that conversation. It was all about Biden. It wasn't about corruption in his country.
I don't know that you really understand what the conversation was because you still.
I heard I read what the conversation was, or at least what the contemporaneous. What?
He said us, not me. Now you're listening to Schiff's explanation.
No, I know he said.
Do what Trump says. Read the transcript. It says Biden right in it.
Yeah. It wasn't. He wasn't asking questions about. I don't know, some mob character in the Ukraine. He was asking about Joe Biden and in particular Hunter Biden.
Yeah, because he was trying to find out what happened in the 2000.
So what are you arguing?
Well, the 2016 election.
One second you're saying he's investigating. He's trying to stop corruption, and then we bring up Biden. He said, he's talking about Biden. So you're talking two sides.
You're just wearing blinders, and you don't want to see that Biden is a bad guy. He's a bad operator, and his son.
But
well, yeah. When I look at Joe Biden, I see a real gangster.
Yeah.
When I look at Trump, I see a real gangster. I see a guy who talks in gangster parlance, who hires gangster lawyers. I mean, fucking Rudy Giuliani's a gangster.
I sent you the video, which said, and Biden stood there and said, I told those guys in the Ukraine, if they didn't fire that guy who's investigating Burisma, I'm going to be on a plane with $1.25 billion in 6 hours.
I don't give a shit. Really? I don't give a shit about Biden. Well, for whatever reason, the president was holding up help. Financial help and aid to a country that had been authorized by Congress, and he was holding that up on, will you do us a favor?
Biden and Obama held up $1.25 billion.
Forget about Obama. He has nothing to do with this. You're creating a whataboutism.
Oh, it's not a whataboutism.
No. Okay, so if it was it wrong for Obama to do it?
Yes.
Then it's wrong for Trump to do it. Then it's wrong for Trump to do it.
It's not impeachable.
Well, nobody tried to impeach Obama. And by the way, for a good percentage of the time that Obama was in power, the Republicans were in power as well. And they didn't impeach him. Okay. So if you're saying what Obama did was wrong, then what Trump did was wrong.
Yes.
The two wrongs don't make a right.
And two wrongs don't make a right.
That's what my mother used to say, but he did it first. Shut up.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, how does my mixer sound? My new mixer.
Sounds like the old mixer.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference.
It's an $1,100 difference in price. I'm really glad.
Yeah, well, Personas is the company whose motto is "There's a sucker born every minute." So
Well, no, Personas could you could do a whole band. You could run a church.
Right. Where are you working out of? Your bathroom or something? I don't know where you are.
You hear a ball flush? That's my mother.
Yeah.
I didn't know that these things existed. I had the Behringer. I liked it. It's just that it was
Behringer was fine. I still have it here. I haven't been able to find a place where I have room to put it.
Yeah, I think
it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it's the same size as the Personas.
It's something that I would use in a radio studio, for instance. It's that big. Yeah. I needed something here when I replaced the old one that, fit the footprint. And didn't impede on the whole thing. And I really wish they made them smaller, to be honest with you. But I also like them with slider pots, for instance. I don't like the knobs. This
has got knobs.
Huh?
This has got knobs, just like, I think there's some slider pots on the Behringer.
Yeah, those are all sliders, yeah. But I like using sliders. But anyway. This whole thing's going to continue. I think we're going to get down to a vote on whether they can subpoena the people. And I think that's going to happen. That is going to happen.
Matter of fact, McConnell said tonight that he does not have the votes to stop that.
Yeah.
So it looks like
Phil's wrong again, by the way.
Well, what you mean?
Admit you're wrong. Admit you were wrong. Admit you were wrong, Phil.
I don't remember if
Phil,
I said.
Admit you were wrong.
I'm always wrong. Okay.
Okay. So everybody, you can have a drink. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
But with this current book selling guy, the guy is basically trying to sell books. We'll see what he actually says once he's on the stand. And they're gonna interview him in closed session initially, and we'll see what he's got.
Well, he was there, so it becomes a matter of he said, she said, I guess.
But it's also Dick, what's his name that does that podcast? He used to be in Clinton's advisor. Dick
Powell.
No. So he said, you can say certain words and you can interpret them two different ways. So the way he did it with the inflection that he used, it's the same words but different interpretations. So the guy can say, yeah, I heard him say this, but it isn't necessarily what they really...
It's a case of what they call Rashomon, which was an old Japanese tale about dead people who are talking about various people are coming back and talking about the death of somebody, and they each have a different story. Okay, yeah. And yes, I know how that can happen, but absent the interpretation, the actions can only be taken one way, in my opinion, and that is that this man basically committed treason.
I don't think so. I think he was protecting the American interests.
Really?
Up country.
I feel a lot safer knowing that, Phil.
He cut off aid to the Palestinians because of what they're doing, and nobody's trying to impeach him over that.
Well, I would. Anyway, let me start the theme here. But there we go. There, and I even had it at a low level so it wouldn't go crazy. Well, this has been very nice. Thanks to all of you for not calling. But we had a nice crowd here, and we had a good discussion, and it was fun and full of frivolity. And one of them was Phil Meyer. He is the asshole that you know so well. And also there's Jeff, who is known as the sweet, wonderful, older guy on our program. Older guy, how about me? I'm at death's door, for Christ's sake. Tony Magno, thank you so much. And, of course, Kevin, always great to see you. You're always a font of wisdom, as it were. Anyway, why don't you all kind of give a big wave goodbye, and I will wave goodbye to you. All right? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. There's our citizens panel for tonight. Sorry that we had some problems in the beginning of the show with audio. I don't know what happens. It's all a mystery. But we got it solved, and that's all that matters. And as a result, had, I think, ourselves a fine little program. Coming up next is our good friend Jack Bishop, who's got a thing called The Intersection. So you can call him, those of you who didn't call me tonight, and you can give him a call, and he'll be up next. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.